For years, ICE has paid county jails to house detainees, but the so-called Dignity Not Detention Act, if passed, would prohibit county jails in New York State from doing that any longer.
We believe that we shouldn't continue to have these agreements.
The assembly sponsor of the bill, Bronx Democrat Karina Reyes, also says it would bar sheriffs who run county jails from renewing any existing immigrant detention contracts and force them to terminate any existing agreements if they have them. Currently, there are a half dozen county jails across the state which do. The bill has already moved into committee for the first time since it was originally introduced 5 years ago, and Reyes talked about why it's found legs.
When the governor talked about kind of a package of immigration bills, one of her proposals, is not the entirety of the bill, but one of them was to end IGSA agreements. These detention agreements are IGSA agreements. And that's a huge part of the Dignity Not Detention bill.
Having those contracts with local jails reduces population at ICE's own facilities, such as the one it has in Batavia, which are brimming under the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration.
Isn't there a danger of someone being picked up, let's say, in Buffalo, in Western New York, but then, because there's no room at the inn nearby, and they can't house them at the Erie County Jail or the Niagara or the Genesee nearby, that they end up getting shipped off to Minnesota or Texas or someplace like that, away from their families?
We understand that this can also this could be a potential consequence of them ending these contracts. But I think the idea is that they shouldn't continue to detain people without committing a crime.
Outside of having entered the country illegally, Niagara County had an IGSA but modified it just last month. It no longer accepts ICE detainees held solely on civil immigration violations. However, Sheriff Mike Felicetti said his office will continue to house those charged with crimes or whose arrests have been approved by a judge, and will continue to work with ICE. What Felicetti referred to as a so-called 287G agreement. This allows local law enforcement to provide limited assistance to ICE to enforce immigration laws. There is a separate bill called New York for All that would prohibit that. However, that bill hasn't gotten the governor's full support. She's instead proposed her Local Cops, Local Crime Act, which suspends those 287Gs, but only for 3 years. On your side in the studio, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.